Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com is still my email address. It is still in the description below. It is still your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me for pricing. I am still T Mosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing the Ressence Type 1.3 Slim, 42 millimeters in diameter with a lenticular profile in grade 5 titanium and sapphire. It is slim, only 10.8 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip 47 millimeters with a spacing between the lugs of 20 millimeters. I'll polish this up, remove my fingerprints. This watch is in spotless condition and beautifully light, wieldy, easy to wear on a small wrist. While 42 might sound large, look at how thin that is. It floats underneath the cuff, easily fitting underneath your sleeve. Although the lugs do extend with wire-style loops, you can see that the timepiece's main body and centralized mass is highly concentrated over the middle of my wrist, making this watch suitable for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. Here's your over-the-top shot, no issues with fit whatsoever. One more roll down the barrel. Now we take a quick look at the strap. This strap is a beautiful hybrid of calfskin on the bottom and ostrich on the top. And this is a Ressence factory strap. You can see it has a shear cut edge and bonded construction. With the exception of the bonding stitch, it's actually bonded with adhesive, so there's no stitch all the way down, leaving it unadorned and handsome. And because the pin of the buckle has an oblong shape to it with the little Ressence hand logo inset, the actual perforations in the strap are shaped to match. Attention to detail. Ressence, a Belgian-Swiss hybrid founded by Belgian industrial designer Benoit Meintens, a company that focuses on industrial design and friendly watches. Benoit Meintens is a true connoisseur of ergonomics, and you can see he used this Clevis-style counterweighted custom titanium pin buckle with a case that spreads its weight and its pressure broadly over the wrist. And we have a combination of polish, and then on the underside, a very gentle media blast for contrast. And Benoit's design team decided that this watch was going to be largely crownless and bezel-less. Well, the crownless part is self-evident. There is no crown for setting or winding this watch. The bezel-less, though, that's more obvious when you're looking at it from the front. There is no discernible bezel as the dial and the crystal spread out to the extremity of the diameter, and it's a really cool thing to look at with a generously boxed cambered and vaulted sapphire over a dial that features a beautiful regulator-style display of unconventional nature, and I'll explain why that is in a moment, but it is a regulator-style display as we have the hours, the minutes, and the seconds on separate registers. We have a day of the week indicator with the arcs that are red and hollow representing, in order, Saturday and Sunday. It moves in a clockwise direction, so because you're looking at the indicator on the second half of the second solid white arc, you know you are looking at the afternoon of a Tuesday. So it's a regulator system, but it also has a day of the week indicator. Now the lever on the back is something that was originally created for the Type 1 squared. It's now becoming more universal across Ressence watches. It makes it easier to set the time and wind the watch. Now you can see how the Ressence orbital convex system display moves everything on its own axis while also moving relative to the center of the dial. There's some little rose gold accents here to go with the satinated anthracite coloration, and I'll demonstrate how you tell the time here. So let's take a quick look at the time. Right now, the time is 6 on the nose, that's the minutes. You're looking at the second half of the arc that represents Tuesday, so you are looking at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday. Now, a note about the seconds display. This is what they call the runner. It lets you know the watch is operating, but rather than a 60-second display, it's actually a 90-second display, as the speed of a 60-second was considered to be a little bit dissonant with the aesthetic of the Ressence orbital convex system display. Now, a magnet actually couples the ETA 2892A2 base to the display, so there's a little bit of a shock-absorbing buffer between the two in case you accidentally set watch too quickly. There's also a friction zone as you move through the rotation on the reverse, and once you find the friction zone, you just move it back and forth through the friction zone to wind the watch. It is automatic, it will wind itself, but you can both set and wind the watch using the case back. You have the Ressence orbital convex system, which is a movement on top of the movement, manufacture watchmaking that is over 100 parts and 15 joules. That movement sits on top of an ETA 2892A2 base. Now, they used to use a 2824, but the 2892A2 allowed them to make the watch thinner. It's a bidirectional automatic winder with a 36-hour power reserve and a 4 hertz beat rate. Of course, it has the regulator-style display and the day-of-the-week indicator. One note, unless you get a Type 5, Ressence watches are splash exposure only. You're not supposed to swim with them. They are 1 ATM or 10 meters, so keep them high and dry. There's another thing you need to know about Ressence watches. They are incredibly luminescent, and they are an absolute festival for the eyes. Your friends will be wowed. If they don't get this watch by day, they're going to fall in love by night. And all grade 5 titanium, hypoallergenic, lighter than steel, and also more scratch resistant than conventional watchmaking steels. So there is a lot to love. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.